Hey everyone, this is Sam and welcome to my Monster Hunter Rise Weapons and Monsters tutorial. Today is going to be video number 1 of my Weapons Guide series, and my goal with this is to help you find the most efficient use of skills and combos that are available to you with all of the weapons in this game. Hopefully by the end of this, I can help you improve your DPS and your situational awareness with all of the weapons, and especially with your weapon of choice. By the end of this video, I guarantee you'll come out a more efficient Monster Hunter Rise player. So if you would like to see more tutorials from me on this game, you can click on the card above or the link in the description below, and you can find guides on every weapon and monster that is in Monster Hunter Rise. So the combat style of this game really is heavily dependent on a player's weapon of choice, and to be great at Monster Hunter Rise, it comes down to you must know your weapon really well, like inside out, so you can make the most efficient use of it. And the weapon that we're going to be focusing on today, specifically in this video, is going to be Sword and Shield. So right off the bat, the most useful skill in Sword and Shield is the Silkbang skill, Falling Shadow, which has a 5 seconds cooldown. And to trigger it, all you have to do is tap CL and X together at the same time. When you do that, that's the animation that gets triggered. But in-game, as you hit a monster, as you hold CL and an X to trigger Falling Shadow, once you hit the monster, if it connects, so if Falling Shadow connects, you will get an auto upslash. So the 15 is my damage, then it's followed by this auto upslash. And while you're in the air like this, if you hold on to X and A, you're going to get the Falling Bash. So out of the Falling Shadow, into the Falling Bash, that's a lot of damage. Like, what this really does is it's going to close the distance, especially to attack tails, and it's going to allow you to attack with elevation. You can see me take the tail right off, right there. This lets you stay safe and also get in headshots if your target monster tends to turn after you hit him with the first Falling Shadow. You can also use Falling Shadow to get to your spots. Like there, I used the first one to get to my spot, and then I triggered the second one to hit him. You can see me again, I draw myself closer with the first Falling Shadow, and then go in with the second one and hit him again, so I can get into a perfect spot, once again taking out the tail. And this Silkbang skill is also very spam friendly, because it only has a cooldown of 5 seconds, so you can do it back and forth and use it to get to your spots. The next skill that is very good for Sword and Shield is another Silkbang skill, and is a Windmill, and this one has a 10 seconds cooldown. To do this, you have to tap CL and A at the same time. You do that, it's going to trigger this giant windmill with your sword, and it's got a good AoE effect. This is great versus a crowd. So if you see this, if you see a crowd of enemies, you can definitely trigger Windmill, and you can see it's a high amount of DPS, and it also covers a large area. And the best thing about Windmill is it has invincibility frames. If you're wondering what that is, it means if you trigger this Windmill, the animation comes with moments where you're invincible. You can see I should have got whacked by the tail there, but nothing, because Windmill comes with invincibility frames. That's why it's perfect for you to get right up close to the enemy, over the head or the tail, and just trigger it, because it's got high DPS, invincibility frames, and because of that nature, it's also going to be the skill that's going to give you another knockdowns. And when you knock the enemy down, the perfect thing you want to do with the Sword and Shield is a backstab into a perfect rush. So this is what you want to do. You want to start off with A, so that's just going to be a regular slash. Once you have done the regular slash, you want to push your left stick away from where you're facing and hold A at the same time. So LA, push the left stick away and tap A. And as you backstab, make sure you tap X until you see the sword light up like that. And when the sword is light up like that, it means you have triggered Perfect Rush. And you're going to hear a voice prompt. Listen.
No more Mr. Nice Guy!
And from this point onward, you only want to tap X when you see that flash. So when you see that flash, tap X. The other slashes are auto. So you see that flash again, tap X again. Let the auto attack happen. And then you tap X again when you see the third flash. So the maximum is 3 flashes. Alright? This is pretty much the combo series that is best for Sword and Shield in terms of DPS. So definitely trigger this as you down the enemy. Go practice in an open area and just get the combo down, and you'll be ready to go. So you can see I do the A, I do the backstab, and then I tap until my sword light up, and then I just keep triggering as it flashes. And when you're hitting an enemy in the game, if you hit the monster, you will actually also get launched in the air, so you can finish it off with a Falling Bash. So you can see all 3 together. I start off with the Falling Shadow here, use it to get into my spot. I didn't really like it, so I go from the back. Now I do the Falling Shadow with the Falling Bash, I do it again with the falling bash right on the head. The enemy gets knocked down. So now I'm going to do the backstab into the perfect rush, following the flashes. And then I'm going to keep doing it until I launch myself up, keep tapping X, and then I do the falling bash X and A after the backstab perfect rush. So the next skill you can use is shield bash. So this one, you just push the left stick and click A at the same time. So push the left stick forward and click A, you're going to get the shield bash where you're hitting with your shield instead of the sword. And the combo you want to use is the shield bash ×2 into round slash. So to do that, push the left stick and A at the same time, and then tap A again, and then hold X and A together. You see the animation play out. So that's the left stick and A at the same time, and then that's the second single A tap. So that's the second bash, and then go into X and A, which gives you the round slash. So that is a very useful combo for head attacks, because if you hit the monster's head with a shield in this game, it adds up and it can stun them. So you can see I missed the first A there, but it doesn't matter. So now I tap A again. That's 50 damage with stunning. That's L and A again. So that gets in the stunning in the head, and then I go with a round slash, which is also high damage. And in regards to defending with the shield, it's rather simple. Just hold a CR to guard. And if you put your shield up, you can actually block most attacks. There's a little bit of stunning, but you're going to lose a little bit of health, but overall you're going to be fine. And another thing great about sword and shield is you can hold L to use items. So you can hold the left bumper and you can just use items without sheathing your weapon. So overall, the sword and shield strength is really, it's going to give you high mobility, and it also has excellent silk band skills. So the windmill and the falling shadow each serve their own unique purpose. One is kind of like long range becoming close range, and then the other one is just invincibility frames from extremely close range. But it all works out very well all together with great synergy. Now in terms of weaknesses, I would say it depends on the kind of player you are. Like every weapon in Monster Hunter Rise, you can win, right? That's because this game is designed so well. But it depends your playstyle, which is gonna allow you to become, one with your weapon. And if you're a guy or girl that likes to play in a very active in-your-face style, Sword and Shield is definitely the one. Especially if you really like using cooldown skills, because you're gonna be recycling through a lot of them constantly and always trying to figure out the best situation to use with which one, and then going from one to the next. You're going to be using silk band skills, you're going to be using your combos, and all of that combined, maybe for some players, not a lot of players like to manage that much stuff. So it is quite a bit of stuff to manage, but it's a very high pace kind of style. So if you're not, and you're going to be in close range, right? So if you're not into those things, you probably won't get the most out of this fighting style if you're not comfortable playing that way. And one thing though is you have to stay at really high pace, because you can tell the attacks are abundant and I can do a lot of attacks, but they're not very high damage on their own, so I need to do them a lot because they need to be chained together and chained efficiently to be able to be maximized. But it is great. Sword and Shield is great for protecting yourself, high survivability, and it's awesome at taking off tails. And then from there, you get a huge advantage the rest of the fight, right? So if you find this helpful and you would like to see more Monster Hunter Rise content from me, just click on my card above or the playlist in the description below, and you'll find all the videos I have ever made on this game, and there's going to be plenty because this game is just so in-depth. Alright, as always, thanks for coming by. If you got any questions, ask away, and I'll talk to you guys again very soon.